Hey there, class. I promised you a video, so here it is. All right, we're going over the long essay questions. Question number one is about egoism. What is the difference between ethical egoism and psychological egoism? Main difference: ethical egoism is a claim about what makes an action right or wrong, whereas psychological egoism is a claim about what ultimately motivates us. So ethical egoism is a moral claim, psychological egoism is a psychological claim. Ethical egoism claims that an action is right when and because that action would be best for the person performing the action. Whereas what psychological egoism claims is that we are only ultimately motivated by self-interest. All right, next sub-question. How do egoists respond to the charge that egoism fits poorly with common sense morality? So the charge here is that ethical egoism can't make sense of the fact that there seem to be all sorts of other directed duties, such as the duty not to harm others, or the duty not to lie, or the duty to keep one's promises. And the defender of egoism might respond to this by saying that no, egoism actually does accommodate those duties because it is indirectly in our interest not to harm or lie or break promises. Right? It's in our interest not to do those things because if we do harm or lie or break promises, then other people are going to be more likely to harm us or lie to us or break their promises to us. So that's the response the egoist might give to that charge. Next sub-question, what are two problems with this response? Well, the first problem is that ethical egoism at best is only going to get us that it's sometimes wrong to harm or lie or break promises. But it doesn't seem to explain why it seems wrong oftentimes to harm or lie or break promises even when you could get away with it, right? Even when you know that no one is going to find out, and thus that there's no sort of chance for reciprocity. The second problem is that it seems like egoism gives us the wrong account or the wrong explanation of why it's typically wrong to harm others or to lie or to break promises. According to common sense morality, it's wrong to do these things not because of what effect it has on you, but because of what those things do to the victim. And ethical egoism can't make sense of that idea. All right, next sub-question. What is the Ayn Rand argument for egoism? I'm not expecting you here to give me what you see on the slide for this argument, right? It was like a full, enumerated, formalized argument. You can present the argument a bit more informally. The important idea is that Ayn Rand thinks that non-egoistic theories of morality, or what we called in class other regarding theories of morality, Rand thinks that these theories regard a person's well-being as something that can be sacrificed for others. But she says any theory that lets a person's well-being be sacrificed for others is a theory that doesn't take seriously what she calls the supreme value of every individual person. And she thinks that only egoism takes that value seriously, since only egoism doesn't regard a person's well-being as something that may be sacrificed for others. What do critics claim are two problems with this argument? Well, the first problem critics are going to say is that it's not true that other regarding theories fail to take seriously the value of every other person. Non-egoistic theories do take seriously the value of every other person precisely because they require every person to take other people's well-being into account. Right? When I'm choosing what to do, these non-egoistic theories say that the value of other people makes a difference to what I should do. And in that way, it seems like these theories take seriously not just my value, but the value of other people as well. The second problem that critics find with Rand's argument is that Rand is mistaken in thinking that egoistic theories do take seriously the value of every person. Egoism actually fails to do that, because when it comes to what I should do, it treats my value or my well-being as being of more importance than anyone else's. Right? So it seems like it fails to take seriously the value of other people. And egoism in this way is a bit like racism or sexism, in that it assigns differential importance to two people's well-being on the basis of a morally irrelevant difference, right? A morally unimportant difference, right? So racism assigns differential importance to two people's well-being on the basis of this morally unimportant difference of race or skin color. Egoism, you might think, is a bit like that, in that it assigns differential importance to two people's well-being on the basis of a difference between self and other. And that seems like morally unimportant or morally irrelevant difference.